Dave has called. He's on line 1. And, Dave, welcome to the programme. What can I do for you?
Well, I want to talk to you. I think you're outrageous.
Thank you.
And your views. I listened to you a couple of weeks ago. You were talking about old age pensioners and how they take everything the state can give them. And, you know, somewhere along the line, I was listening to you tonight as well, because I was home early tonight. But how old are you, sir?
What's that got to do with anything?
Well, because...
I mean, are you somebody who thinks that if you're 94, you're necessarily better than somebody who's 92?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
What are you? Well, what's it got to do with anything?
I'm saying you're...
Go up to you at a party, they say, what do you do? It doesn't matter. I usually say...
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. I usually say, how's your dad?
Because your views of people, your views of the younger people and the older people are totally different. Now, I mean, I can remember, it was about 1944, I think, when people like you would have been shot if you'd have been in Germany.
No, hanged.
Hanged? No, you'd have been shot if you were in Germany.
No, hanged.
Well, they were hanged.
Hanged.
Because you had views that were totally different to everybody else. Now, in this country, we put up with people like you, and I mean, some of your ideas are so ludicrous.
Have you ever heard of William? Have you ever heard of William Joyce?
Yes.
Who was he?
He was Lord Haw.
What did you do to him?
They hanged him at the end.
For his radio views?
Yeah.
How about that?
Well,
Is that all right by you? You hang the DJ because you don't like what he's saying?
He was a traitor.
He didn't break the law. He was Irish. He was Irish.
Well...
The Irish were neutral.
They weren't at that particular time, my sir.
They certainly were.
Oh, no, certainly they weren't.
What, the Irish weren't neutral?
No, because I went into an Irish port and refueled when I was in the Navy.
When did the Irish declare war on anybody?
They never declared war on anybody.
Well, you give me another definition of neutral, then.
They suffered the fact that the Germans and the British and the Americans went in and refueled in their ports.
They were neutral during the war?
Load of beg your pardon. They were allegedly neutral.
Dave, they were neutral.
They were allegedly neutral, sir.
And Joyce was an Irishman?
Yes, they were allegedly.
So how was he being a traitor?
Because, like many of the Irish people at that particular time, they...
And he was hanged for his views?
Well, so should you be sometimes.
Which views are those?
Well, a fortnight ago, I listened to you talking about old age pensioners that were grabbing everything they could get through Social Security and things like that. About a fortnight, 3 weeks ago. I thought to myself, you, lad, don't know a great deal about anything, do you? Only you're self-opinionated what you think.
I'll tell you what, Dave. If I ever found myself on an identity parade and you were the guy coming along picking people out, I'd be shaking in my boots.
I should bloody think so, too.
Because you're mixing me up with somebody else.
I'm not. Because... No, I just asked you how old you were. You refused to give me that information.
What do you mean I refused to give you that information? I just asked you what you wanted to know for and you couldn't answer the question.
Well, I didn't.
What do you want to know for?
Because your age group has a different view on life than what my age group has.
Well, how old are you?
I'm 78.
Ah, well, you're a whippersnapper.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
I'm 82.
You lie like a chief stoker.
I'm 82. So you just put that in your pipe and smoke it, you whippersnapper. You're wet behind the ears and you're a know-nothing. When you've lived as long as me, you get to know somebody.
Where did you serve?
When you've lived as long as me, when you've lived as long as me,
where did you serve in the forces?
When you've lived as long as me.
Right, I might not have lived as long as you.
When you've lived as long as me, you get to know somebody who is confused.
No, I'm not confused.
I didn't say you were, did I? I said you get to know somebody who is confused.
Where did you serve in the forces?
You get to know somebody who can't work out quite who they're listening to on the radio.
Well, I listen to Pratt most of the time.
But still feel sufficiently empowered in their ignorance and confusion to pitch up and accuse somebody of doing something they haven't done.
Right.
And that's what you're doing. Now, I'm gonna put up a bond for you. I'm gonna put up a bond for you now, and I want you to listen to this very carefully, right? I'm gonna put up £1,000 of my own money against £1 of your money if you are able to show something which I know you're not able to show, which is that I've accused old age pensioners of scrounging off the state.
Well, you did about a fortnight ago.
Then in that case, you've got the easiest £1,000 you'll ever earn. Now, I need you to do that for me, and I know that you won't because you can't.
Well, I'll tell you what.
All you have to do is prove it.
You say you...
And you won't be able to prove it because A, I never said it, and B, I don't believe it.
Yes, you did.
I don't believe it.
You did.
I didn't. It's as simple as that. When?
Because you
now you see the problem is it's what you thought you heard
about pension credits and things like that.
I wasn't. I've never raised the topic of pension bloody credits. I don't even know what they are.
You lie like Chief Stoker.
Now you're calling me a liar. We've got your phone number. You're accusing me. If only you were worth something, I could take you to the cleaners twice over.
I know you could.
Because you're lying.
Give me a little minute to talk to you instead of you shouting down my ear all the time.
Well, when you consider you're accusing me of something heinous which is untrue, palpably untrue, deeply untrue, disturbingly untrue, when I think that people like you are able to vote when you're equally able to accuse somebody of something heinous that they wouldn't dream of saying, A, because it's not a topic I talk about because it's boring. It's boring, mate, pension credits. I don't talk about that. I talk about life, humanity, and what it is to be a full human being on this show. I do not discuss obscure topics like pension credits. That's for the other journalists. That's for the proper journalists. That's for the people who know how to do interviews. I don't. What I do know is that you are confused.
I'm not confused. Now,
do you want £1,000 then, mate?
You're saying...
Do you want £1,000? It would be the easiest £1,000 you've ever earned.
Well, if you get somebody to verify what I'm saying...
No, you do it. You do it. You do it.
Well, I've got to phone out every person that listened to you.
No, we've got tapes, but I'm not going to get them out for you because I'm not going to listen through all my shows. No, Dave, I don't even know what a pension credit is.
Hang on a slack a minute. You're shouting down my ear all the time.
Yeah, that's because you're obscene.
I'm not obscene.
It's obscene. It's absurd and obscene to accuse somebody of doing something that they haven't done. That's why there are so many sad, terrified people in this world. So many terrified children of thinking that a teacher is going to get them for something and they don't know what it is they've done wrong. It's why there are so many neurotic people. It's why there are so many psychopaths.
Look, Chief, don't shout at me.
Yark at you and you think it's funny.
Don't shout at me. I've been
This is sick. This is sick.
I've been gunnery instructors in the Navy shouting at me. You don't do anything to me.
Are you a father?
I'm a father of two sons, yes.
Are you?
Yeah. Don't shout at me because I've been used to gunnery instructors in the Navy shouting at me. And they frighten me more than ever you do, even now, if I think about them.
Well, I've got a lot to think about.
Now, you talk to me, you're 82 years old.
Well, I'm not.
No, I guess you weren't.
How old do you think I am?
I should say you're about 40.
Yeah, so you're very kind. But you didn't mean to be.
No.
No.
But see, there is a difference.
Supposing you were wrong and you had got me mixed up with somebody else, which you have, would you apologise?
I would apologise if I thought I'd got you mixed up. Yes, I will apologise, yeah.
Is it something that you generally do?
Yes, I do. I'm quite a... I'm not one of these people that hold grudges or something. If I thought I got you wrong, I'll apologise. If you think I've got you wrong, I will apologise. But I do think that
See, I've come across people like you before
Your attitude...
If I may finish, I've come across people like you before who listen to the radio and you don't know whether you're listening to the BBC or some commercial radio station. Now, let me finish. Let me finish. It's because you don't listen very well. Let me finish. It's not an insult. Not an insult. It's not an insult. When I started in television, I worked on a program called Magpie.
Oh, Christ almighty, that was years ago.
There was just keep listening and stop thinking you've got to say something halfway through every sentence, mate. And there was a sister program on the BBC called Blue Peter. Now, I did the one on ITV called Magpie, and as soon as I started appearing on television, people kept coming up to me, and do you know what they asked me? Most often...
No, wouldn't have a clue.
No.
Because of that particular
No, just say no, mate. Just say no. No, just say no.
Probably out of the Far East.
We're not interested. I'm telling you something that's got some merit. And the fact that you are out in the Far East does, I must admit, have a certain amount of merit, but not in the way that you might think. Now, what they would come up to me and say is it really your dog? Now, do I have to explain why?
Yeah, you do have to me, because I've never even seen those programmes.
No. Well, the thing was, the dogs were with the other lot on the BBC. We didn't have any dogs. But what it was that people muddled up. They have the radio on, or the TV on, and they kind of think it's all one effort. So, they hear somebody say something, and they think it must be that bloke. And that's harmless enough. But there are people like you, Dave, who try to get people fired on the basis of things that they haven't said and don't think. It's because they actually quite like the idea of causing somebody else some discomfort.
No, that's a load of... I beg your pardon.
No, you nearly said bollocks, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well,
no, I was going to say balls, actually.
Well, whatever. Well, I don't care. It's 12 o'clock at night and we'll talk the way people want to talk. However, I have to say that if I was to shoot my load off at you... for what you are...
done it so far.
I haven't come close, mate, because I am aware of the sensibilities of most of the intelligent people who are listening,
You're trying to run me down, Chief.
I'll tell you what... well, what is it? What is it?
Are you intelligent as you?
You're not. What's the best... All right, let's try it, shall we?
You're talking balls now.
What's the best book you've ever read? Go on.
I think, also the best book I've ever read?
Yeah.
Stalin's book, what was it? I can't remember the name of it now. I've read...
That good, was it?
Yeah.
What else? Can you think of a book that you've read that you can remember the name of? Can you think of a book that you've read that you can remember the name of?
I was at school. We had to read a lot of books.
And
I'm a lot older than you, Chief.
Yeah, well, that doesn't stop you reading books. I'd like to know if there's... Can you name a book?
Oh, I'll tell you what, quite frankly, no, I can't.
You can't name a bloody book?
Well, yeah, well, I can name...
You can't name a book, but you're prepared to pitch up at the radio and tell me that I said disgusting things about old people.
You won't get through to me by shouting at me, Chief.
No, I'm not trying to get through to you.
You're trying to confuse me or whatever you're doing.
Well, you weren't confused in the first place.
I was a GIs in the Navy, and you're nothing compared to them.
You said that 3 times.
I know. You won't get through your thick head, will it?
I reckon that they got to you.
No, they didn't get through to me.
And shall I tell you,
I'll tell you what
the effect was
they told me to listen to people like you and bloody ignore you.
What happened was this. You were bullied in the Navy.
I never was bullied in the Navy. In those days, there was no such thing as bullying in 1944, son.
And
there was nothing such as bullying. It was life.
And it made you angry.
Didn't make me bloody angry at all. It was life, son.
And it made you dangerous.
Dangerous what? What?
Dangerous to innocent people.
Oh, dear, oh dear. You must be out of your tiny little mind.
Well, just remember this.
There must be 3 million people in England now who served in the services 39 to 44. And I mean, every one of them is dangerous to innocent people.
No, you.
They've lived and seen people killed alongside them.
Let's just take this what you just said...
You've never lived, my lad.
Let's just take what you've said and deconstruct it if you care to.
Yeah, go on.
I've said that the anger...
There's no bloody anger.
Look, it's not a conversation unless you let the other person finish.
Well, you won't let me finish. Go on, say what you got to say then.
Right. And you have to listen and then respond to it as if you were a complete human being.
Yeah.
Which all of us, myself included, are most of the time. But all of us, yourself, definitely included, sometimes are not. Now then, you referred to the people who shouted at you in the Navy so much that one is entitled to believe that it might be something that was a significant relationship in your life. And you're angry. And we all get angry.
Where did you get that from?
I'm a psychiatrist.
Where did you get that from?
You see, what I'm trying to find out is the reason why it's your dearest hope that I have been unpleasant in a way which I wasn't.
Well, I'll tell you what now, Chief. Have you ever been on board ship?
Just make your point.
Have you ever been on board a ship?
No, I'm not going to play 20 questions. Make your point.
No, just tell me, have you ever been on board a ship?
A ship?
A ship. A ferry across to France or something like that.
I've been on HMS Phoenix.
Have you?
Yeah.
And do you know the watertight doors on HMS Phoenix?
Only too well.
Yeah. Now, what if HMS Phoenix got torpedoed or damaged forward? What was
well, HMS Phoenix isn't an ocean-going ship.
No. What, but if it was a...
Do you know what HMS Phoenix is?
Well, no, I don't. I can't...
Oh, for
it's
God's
probably
sake,
a bloody...
So are we actually saying that I know more about Her Majesty's Navy than you do?
No, because you're talking about...
Well, you don't know what HMS Phoenix is?
Well, it's probably somewhere down at Pompey or a bloody Wren's doing.
Right, well, you're about to tell me what it's like to be below decks when a ship is holed, and you don't know what HMS Phoenix is?
Oh, hang on the slack now. It's that, what's name down at Pompey, isn't it?
Which is a what? Which is what?
It's a training thing.
Which does what?
It's firefighting and firefighting
Would you like me to tell you?
Control.
Would you like me to tell you?
Go on.
Have you ever been on HMS Phoenix?
No, I haven't, because I was a carrier man.
What's that?
I was on board carriers.
You were on board an aircraft carrier?
All my service in the Navy.
Right. But you don't know what HMS Phoenix is?
Well, I think it's the firefighting and
were you ever sunk?
No, I'd never bloody sunk.
Do you know what it's like to be sunk?
Do you?
Yeah. Because I've been on HMS Phoenix.
Because you've been on HMS Phoenix where they flood it.
Yeah, have you?
Go on.
Have you?
Tell me. No. But I've done the same sort of thing on board ship.
Yeah, it's not the same as Phoenix.
Your
Your experience is not as real as mine.
Well, mine was on board ship in the middle of the bloody sea.
Do you know how many people have done Phoenix twice?
I wouldn't know.
One.
Because
one man. There's only one man who's done Phoenix twice. Me.
How did you? And what would you do it for? Because you were...
No, I did it because we had to do it twice because it was being filmed for a TV programme and...
TV programme.
Yeah, and
hang on, I'm just saying to you...
So I've been sunk twice and you haven't been sunk at all?
No, but I'm just saying to you that...
And in any case, it's entirely irrelevant because the point of this conversation is this, okay?
You're so...
That you...
outrageous in your statement.
No, I'm not going to get through to you, but we've got your phone number, and what I'm going to consider is whether or not I could sue you for libel.
Oh, get stuffed. I mean, let's face it, we're talking now about your statements in... and how outrageous you are, and how... You can listen to Southern Counties Radio in the morning, or any morning, and somebody says...
Dave, I've got to go, because there's quite a lot of people who want to talk to me. I'm very sad that you are so confused.
I'm not confused.
Yes, you are. Oh, dear. You know, when you were talking to somebody like that, you, particularly if you're the person that they've got this completely ludicrous, mistaken view of it, you can hardly believe that you're being, you know, singled out as having said some things that you haven't said. It quite frightens you, because you know that in all sorts of other areas of life, there are people being mistaken for other people, or people are acting in such a way that there is a kind of an ambiguity about their actions. And those with malice aforethought decide to interpret their actions, to exploit the ambiguity of what they've done or said, so that they can persecute them. And you kind of hope that if you can get somebody in a conversation, you can somehow demonstrate, using your obviously superior commands, that they might have got it wrong. And then it just becomes, you know, something that you can't let go. You become quite obsessed with it. I mean, the man could not see that I hadn't said any of the things. I had no idea what he was talking about. He's clearly mistaken me for some other pundit, probably on a commercial radio station which broadcasts access radio, not very well these days, which is on around about the same time as this show, quite possibly. I don't know if that's the case. Maybe.